was surprised not to even see him get a go in the USA A team that's going to play midweek ahead of those ODIs.
Yeah, that's the biggest surprise to me as well. He's in such great run of form even now. In minor league, was the second place in voting for the East Division MVP. He had a great season with the bat. Also gives you with the ball some off spinners and again the lefty option that you don't have now. He's not part of this T20 team anymore. It just was a surprise to not see him involved. And coming off a great run of form, you can understand maybe wanting to go in the younger direction, but I don't feel they've gone in that youth direction in terms of. President saying obviously 36 years old. If there's a younger man you want to get in there, but he's at the peak of maybe his form in cricket. Felt like an odd decision to pull him completely out of the ranks.
Yeah, certainly. Judging and seeing amongst some other American players, probably a little bit hard done by the lack of cricket at points. It's down the leg side, and as he shake, he gets something on it, but I think it was the back of his glove. If anything, it's going to be 5 wides. It's over. It's going from bad to worse. It's always a risk. Bowling 3 consecutive in the power play. USA starting to come into their own and getting, if anything, ahead of the chase.
It was almost the third over starting at the bunker in the first innings that really prompted Nepal to really get going. And so far, you're starting to see a repeated history here with Rajan Dakal. He's struggled with the line, I think, so far this over. He's been wide. He's trying to get way too straight. When he's been on stumps, he's been hard to put away. The only time we saw it was side pitch and Kamala in this over. I think that's just gotten to Dakal's head a little bit.
It's that little slower ball. Yeah, the momentum has just really swung USA's way quite heavily. It's mainly thanks to the aggression and impetus and intent from Andre's House.
And this is what they were missing the other night, the ability to go out there and do this. When you lose 3 early, just not able to put any pressure back onto the bowling side. Today, they've just lost 1 wicket and they're keeping things in hand. And now you can just see them start to ease themselves into the game, similar to what Nepal did. Even with the early wicket, we saw Bertel come into his own, really keep the game ticking. And that way, he just kept moving in the right direction.
Another elegant cover drive. Irie will hair after. Probably keep it to a couple alongside Gulshan Jah, who goes with him. He does. More good fielding from Nepal. 5 have been bowled. USA very much in the backseat now. It's 44 for 1.
Oh.
Final over the power play can often be a key one.
We'll never know.
But trying to scoop you for 6 or something.
But he
series. And he comes on at the racecourse end to begin the 7th over against Saibo Kamala. Another audacious drive. It's not going to go all the way, but it will land safely, and he'll collect an adventurous 2.
Yeah, wasn't in the air for a while, but again, that's the bigger side of the ground over there that he's hitting into. So we knew the fielders had a long way to go. And if it's pitched up outside the off stump, he's not going to shy away from playing a lock and cover drive. It's his favorite stroke. He's getting into a good rhythm here. It's a good battle. This two young cricketers, the future of both Nepal cricket, Gulshan Jha and Satyaj Mukamala, 18 and 20 respectively. That'll we can see for years to come here between these two countries.
Off every ball. He's not going to try and heave across the line, but something like that. Just that tap and run single. If he can't hit it for 4, he can't hit it for 6. He's not going to just chew it up. He's always looking to score somehow and keep the run rate moving. And that's why he's been undroppable, even with the return to health of Stephen Taylor. House, for a moment, looked like he might have had his heart in his mouth as that one was headed towards the fine leg fielder, but it clears him to go for 4.
Andres House had a disappointing first delivery from Gulshan Jha 2 nights ago. It was a half tracker that was wide that just he placed straight to backward point. This time got one sliding down the leg side. It's helped it over the ring for 4 runs. Just enough elevation on it. Something about to watch for with Gulshan Jha bowling. But again, a good partnership brewing. This is what was missing from the USA's match in that first game. Just didn't get this from their top order. And so far, 24 apiece from number 1 and number 3.
Third single is going to be milked into that short cover region to get Mukamala back on strike. Yeah, Sagadaka was the fielder at fine leg. You might need to be Victor Wembanyama to catch that one. You need to be a 7-footer.
I'm not sure Wemby was going to get up there either. Peter would have to get the vertical going as well. But again, very nervy there from Andres House. Didn't quite get the elevation he was looking for. But your point about Satyaj Mukamala getting those signals consistently, I think that's been the brilliance about this partnership as well. They haven't just been boundaries or nothing. They've been able to milk those singles, similar to what we saw from Rohit Baldo and Depinder Singh in that first game, where they just found gaps consistently.
Good change of pace from Gulshan Jha here. We're not too far from San Antonio. Do you think we can get Wemby to make the trek up to Grand Prairie at some point? If he's got an off day with the Spurs, you think he might be able to come up here and be enticed into watching some cricket?
Well, the problem is we're past preseason basketball. We're headed into the regular season, and Wemby's come out with the quote where he says he's surprised at how little the guys he idolized worked on their game. He's like, I don't want to be like that, so I don't think you're going to pry him out of San Antonio during basketball season. If you can get out here, it's an incredible atmosphere between these two.
Too wide, as Gosanja not happy with the umpire stretching his arms out. Samir Bandikar gives a bonus run to USA. It's going to extend the over by one legal delivery.
Yeah, again, very marginal. This could have really gone either way.
Well,
I reckon it's probably cut in and then late movement outside the line. And we've seen a couple of close ones. Harvey Singh wasn't happy with his wide. Christian John unhappy with this. I think he's got a little bit more say in the matter.
This time it is playable. And it's going to be picked up by the cover sweeper, who will relay it in. 9 off the bat, 10 in the over. It's 62 for 1 after 7.
Top order batter, where it was a lot of balls wasted, low strike rates but high scores. And since playing more and more minor league cricket, more and more T20 cricket, he started to up the ante, getting those singles, those doubles, and then getting boundaries alongside them.
Sagarako into the attack. It was tremendous on Thursday night. Didn't take any wickets, but his economy was superb in tying down USA's order at a crucial juncture of the match. Drags this one down. Another day would have been able to yank that past fine leg. Instead, it trickles out to deep square leg for 1. Yeah, coming into tonight, strike rate of 145.94. That might surprise some people who, like you said, have been following minor league cricket over the course of the first several seasons, because playing for the New Jersey Stallions, batting at number 3, albeit on some thick outfields, not always playing on natural turf, scoring is difficult. And he was somebody who was striking it at about a run a ball. He was not a very quick scorer. But as you said, he's taken some of the lessons learned from playing minor league cricket and adjusted his game. And he hasn't gotten a game yet in Major League Cricket. He's been part of the Texas Super Kings squad for 2 years. All these performances have come really since the end of Major League Cricket. And you'd like to think, heading into year 3 for Major League Cricket, if he's retained in the Super Kings squad, which we expect he will be, not only will they retain him, I would expect him to make it into the 11 and make an impact on the field for the Super Kings.
Yeah, well, he was the very last pick in that year 1 draft. I'm sure that's weighing on his mind, but it'll be hard to crack that opening partnership of Faf du Plessis and Devin Conway.
Andres House has cracked this one high and deep over long on. His third 6. And how?
Well, we saw him do something similar to Kushal Bortel when he got too short in match number 1. Sagar Dako, he's trying to be quicker through the air, but this time it's just stuck in the hands. It's just dipped on him. And Andres House got into position early. And again, that's a shot of liking. When he gets onto the back foot against a spinner, you can just count your blessings, because you're just wondering about how far it's going to go, not if it's going to go to any fielder.
You can get some good steak down here in Texas. That was red meat for Andres House. He gobbled that one up, spit it back out, well beyond the rope. He's looking mighty impressive. And another thing that this partnership is making a lot of USA fans think about, Aman, is why did Monak Patel push himself back into the opening role coming back from injury? Because this partnership was mighty successful down in Namibia. opening the batting together in the absence of Monak Patel, and I think a lot of people were under the impression that they would continue with that partnership, even with Monak Patel back healthy. And the way these two are batting together right now, I'm sure it's giving food for thought, not only for the captain, but for Stuart Law, the USA coach. 9 runs in the over, 71 for 1 after 8.
And not done after tonight. Still one more match tomorrow, and if the USA can find a way to finish out this chase, you see the equation there at the bottom left of your screen, 100 from 72. Well, then it'll be a decider Sunday night here in Grand Prairie. And yeah, a lot of the conversation will be Monak Patel. Does he slide back into the opening role? As Gustin Jha continues.
And Simon Kamala continues as well. Drives this one and overrunning it. Karen KC nearly turned disastrous. He only gives up one extra run on that occasion, nearly turned into a boundary, but recovers well enough to keep to just 2.
Well, we saw Jesse Singh overrun one in the first innings. Karen KC, he's already misfielded one. This won't do his confidence nor the Nepal fans any good. He's able to keep it from trickling to the boundary. A couple of times we've seen that Harmeet Singh in the first innings. Jesse Singh we mentioned.
A little bit of extra gas on this delivery.
Here from Mukamala, he's changing where he is on the crease. He'll step out one delivery, the next one he'll be in, trying to get to the ball. He typically doesn't step all the way over to that off stump. Typically will step on to middle stump if he does step out at all. And Gustin Jha has been very clever with the way he's bowled. He's bowled the cutters well. He's used a couple seam up deliveries. And he's a bright young cricketer. Both of these two in the middle at the moment.
Change of pace. And he's winning the battle with Mukamala at the moment, keeping the youngster off balance. Very clever bowling here from Gulshan Jha.
And Mukamala's trying to play this very late through covers, trying to get it in between that sweeper cover and mid-off. But you see this, that late cut, again, the change of pace. He's utilized it so well, Gulshan Jha. Big, tall man, he runs it with the head of steam, but his ability to pull the slower one has made him such a valuable asset for this Nepali side that's littered with pace bowlers. You get a guy who can do this in the middle, something the USA maybe lacks, is such a key value.
Kamala finally plays a release shot out to deep mid wicket, but he's only going to get 1 for it. Field alignment for Nepal on the boundary. They've got a deep backward square leg, a deep mid wicket, a very wide long on. Kushal Bertel out there on the straight boundary. They've got a cover sweeper in place, and then Karen KC is at a very straight long off. And then inside the ring, fine leg, short third, backward point, extra cover. Nobody in the ring in front of square on the leg side, but that is the short boundary. It's very difficult to tap and get to. House, it's where he got out the other night. This time it bounces short of Irie.
You can see the adjustment from Andres House, though. Again, you saw him very eager to get his hands out this time. Waited on it. You'll see it right here. Then waited on the cutter, let it get under his eyes, and then use his... The defender saying Irie is so quick, there's never a run there. There's something that he actually spoke about in between the games, that he never really played against Nepal before. Didn't really know about the class of the fielding, and now you can see a much more concerted effort to not run against Irie.
And they're not going to take on the captain either. Powell does the fielding. 3 runs in the over. 74 for 1 after 9.
4-4 guarantee. 1 hour, 1 champion. 5 days a week. NPM matlab. UFC fight o'clock. Only on Sony Sports Network.
keeping the required run rate in check. And the target 171. They're much more positive than they were 2 nights ago, as Sagadakel begins his second. And Ukamala continues to remain positive, using his feet there. Beaten in flight, but still went through with the shot and collects a single down to the ground.
Yeah, I look at this USA side right now, and they're doing exactly what's asked of them. They're ahead of where Nepal was at this stage. Nepal at the end of 9 were 53 for 1. 75 runs on the board now, and it was the surge in over number 12. On to this, and this partnership continues to grow. They're going to be a good platform for an aggressive Milind Kumar, an aggressive Aaron Jones, Shahan Jahangir, who's coming off of brilliant innings. This is the USA team that we've come to know over the last month, Peter.
You can see the way Sagadakel was going. He's targeting the legs. And not on that occasion, it pays the price for it. You can't offer width. Going to the short side of the ground, and Simon Kamala only too happy to get some on that delivery. Deposits it over extra cover for 6.
And this has been. He's always been a great timer, but this one is his ability to lift it over the top of cover. So even if you got it too straight to the fielder, it's over the top of him.
Yeah, much better, much tighter to the stump that time. He's got to keep it very straight, almost on middle and leg stump. And you're hitting to an 82-yard boundary. And if you give it width outside off, it's only 64 yards. That's why it was so easy for him to clear the ropes on the previous delivery. Big appeal. Not out, says Aditya Gajar. And Mukamala, boy, he had a guilty look on his face coming down the wicket. He didn't want to look at the umpire.
The question is, where did it hit him? Because it hit him on the front foot. That front foot, it's on leg stump. I think Gajar would just say it's going down. I think it's a good decision in the end because it is going on with the arm.
Yeah, it's not enough room after it contacted the pad to know where it was going to turn. It looked like it was just going to continue on with the angle. It's this time much easier. Shot by Mukamala, stroke down the ground for a single. 9 runs. Stars and Stripes Summit Series.
facing the white ball masters.
Andre Russell, he is in magnificent form.
Because when the Lakers
to live coverage of match number 2, second T20I in this Stake Stars and Summit series. Watching on Willow TV in the USA, County 4 TV back in Nepal. The early risers waking up in the morning to watch this contest. The battle between Gulshan and Sai Mukamal continues as Mukamal strokes another single down the ground.
It's been an exciting first 2 games so far, Peter. This one's setting up to be a really exciting finish. Again, the USA ahead of the game at the moment. But a wicket here for Nepal, and you can just start to make inroads. We've seen for the USA at times in chases, just created a couple of wickets. You just create a sense of confusion out there in the middle. They haven't had that real glue in that middle order. A lot of it rests on just Kels and Saitej and Mukamala.
Well, they struggled chasing against the Netherlands in August. Much better at it down in Namibia against Namibia and the UAE. And the 2 matches they played at this venue in the World Cup in June, that famous chase against Canada, and then a historic win against Pakistan. Can we call that one a successful chase? Because after all, the scores were level. They goofed up a bit at the end. They had that match in the bag, and they tried to make it as dramatic as possible by letting it go to the Super Over. Nitish Kumar very nearly was going to be the scapegoat, wound up hitting a boundary off the final ball to send it to the Super Over. As Mukamala, with a very firm drive, but picks out Rijan Dakal, had a cover sweeper for just 1. And it took Aaron Jones and Saurav Netravalkar in the Super Over to make everybody forget about the final 2-over sequence that Nitish Kumar had.
I would call it a success, Peter. You won the game. You got to the Super Over where you wanted. I think that's the key factor. And again, the big thing about the World Cup was that there was a sense of calm out there in the middle in those types of matchups. Again, Nitish Kumar's going in there in a position where he doesn't normally bat. That's more of a Shahin Gear spot to bat in. Nitish Kumar more of a top order player. Comes in against Haris Rauf with mid-off up in the ring and gets 4 runs. So that's what's missing right now on this side.
Well, they haven't had to go to the middle order because this partnership between Gauss and Mukamala has been so prodigious for USA over the last month and a half. Yeah, what I remember most about that final over and Nitish Kumar hitting the boundary off Haris. At least I kept the match going.
Well, there might not have been celebrations on the field from Nitish Kumar. There was plenty of celebrations off of it for everyone supporting the USA side of things.
Kamala fans on this one wants a wide, doesn't get it. He got the benefit of the doubt earlier against Gulshan Jah, Gulshan's first over in the 7th. This time Samir Bandekar sides with number 15 in the Nepal jersey.
I think Mukamala was undone by the movement he did across his stumps, moved outside the off stump on that occasion, and the wide line moves with the batter. And Samir Bandekar reckoned that inside where the wide line now was.
Another heave from Mukamala, fetches nothing. No dot ball to end the over. 4 runs from it. 87 for 1 after 11.
Peter, we've spoken a lot about Mukamala and how good he's been, but Gulshan Jah needs to get a little tip of the cap here. His 3 overs, just 17 runs. Hasn't picked up that wicket, but you can see him just start to add pressure onto Mukamala, who was at this point batting rather fluently, able just to find runs, find singles at ease. Now you're seeing the pace off, the change in line and lengths, just creating difficulty, even with this partnership being worth 83 from 50.
This is really remarkable for a youngster, and yet he's ODIs, 36 T20Is at the age of 18. Made his debut against USA. Dipender Singh Ari into the attack for Nepal. Player of the match, taking 3 wickets 2 nights ago. Just going back to the point about Gulshan Jah, one of the amazing things about him, you look at his bio and say he's only 18 and this is remarkable for a youngster, but he's got 3 years of international cricket under his belt. He's played 30 ODIs. This is his 37th T20I for Nepal. He made his debut against USA in that first series after COVID that was held in Oman in September 2021. And then made his T20I debut against the Philippines in that World Cup qualifier in Oman when it was a split global qualifier. But he's showing the value of all those matches. And that's the Nepal way. That's the Nepal philosophy. Rohit Paudel made his debut at 15. And now, Rohit Paudel, he's still in his early 20s, and he's already the captain of his country, because, which is incredible to think about. Most of these guys have made their debuts as teenagers. And this one is going to go wide of the fielder and beyond the boundary as well. That's an awfully big hit over that 84-yard boundary. But Simon Kamala times it well enough to get 6, his 3rd of this innings.
And not the rosy start we saw from Dipender Singh Ari just 2 nights ago. Drags it down a little bit. Not good enough as well. He was planted forward, but was able to transfer his weight late.
This time, muscles it, picked out the man on the boundary. And the pro-Nepal crowd erupts. Kushal Bertel had a spectacular night with the bat. He's continued it with a catch on the long on boundary to dismiss Mukamal for 47. And this crowd comes back to life for the visitors.
Misses out on what would have been a brilliant half-century Mukamala. He just finds one for 6. Just
Taka.
this off the middle of the bat. Ends up being the simplest of catches. Look how much it means.
Cup chase. Andre Strauss, everybody remembers Aaron Jones's 94 not out of 40, but Andre Strauss was right alongside him for the majority of that chase. And these two come together, hoping to conjure up some of that magic on this Grand Prairie Stadium wicket. Meanwhile, Dipender Singh Ari can't seem to do much wrong here in Texas. Took 2 wickets in his first over last night, wraps up his first over tonight with a wicket. And that was the shot that Andre Strauss fell to a couple nights ago. And boy, oh boy, almost deja vu again. This time, he threads the needle to get 4.
Scorecard will say it's just 4 runs, but Andre Strauss, as he's played it, he's almost given a look of desperation, of despair, because it's very nearly carried to that 3rd man fielder. It's just gone to the left of him. He's picked up 4 runs. 100 comes up for the USA as Andre Strauss moves into the 40s. It's been a good knock, but you feel as if the USA were to lose a wicket now, Nepal will be right back in this match.
This time, calmly plays it along the ground to the sweeper for 1. And it'll bring Jones on strike. On his 30th birthday, USA vice captain, played a starring role for the St. Lucie Kings in the CPL final, scoring 48 not out in Guyana to win the CPL title. Comes into this match. Jones this time gets off the mark immediately with one out to the cover sweeper. Rajan Dakwa collects.
Yeah, Peter, he's an exceptional cricketer. This is why he's here, though. You look at Mukamala, he's just looking to muscle it. Irie's gone a little bit flatter, a little bit quicker through the air. He's connected well enough. It's just that Kushal Bertel's in the right place at the right time. Look at the big fist pump as well. Comes out from his countryman just to his right. Again, big moment in the game because Mukamala was really starting to tread on a power hitting direction.
Slower ball. And Kulshanja can't believe it. Difficult chance, but it came straight to him. He's putting it down.
It's a chance, and Andres Kels doesn't give you many. You gotta take them when they come. Never easy. That's a fast bowler. You're falling away to your left. The ball's been struck back to his right. He's stuck out a hand, but he's got a lot of his mitt out there. Again, take a second look at this. Kulshanja very nearly pulled off something remarkable.
This time Jones just taps it back. Going back to the wicket, the other remarkable thing about that Mukamala dismissal is the previous ball that he hit for 6. Hit it to the deepest part of the ground. That was an 85-yard hit. And then the next ball, he's going for the straight boundary, which is only 69 yards from what you said on the pitch report. And yet, he couldn't clear it.
Again, just a little bit quicker. That was the difference. Didn't get the time to get underneath the ball. Length also a touch fuller. Mukamala, he did well enough, but really well done by Nepal.
Jones just swats this out to the short boundary. Had a deep mid-wicket for 1. And that'll wrap up an 8-run over. It's 104 for 2 after 13.
It doesn't matter if they are facing the white ball masters.
Andre Russell is in magnificent form.
Because when the Lakers spin a web, it's tough to survive.
Hasaranga does it.
Get ready as the Laker Lions take on the Calypso Kings on a cut. The Lakers versus West Indies first ODI today, 2:30 p.m. live on Sony Sports Network.
Saturday night under lights, not the Friday night lights of Texas high school or college football. No, it's all about cricket here tonight in Grand Prairie. 7 overs remain. The game hangs in the balance. As Aaron Jones, who has this little habit, doesn't he, of starting slowly, whether it be in American colours or like we saw in the CPL final recently, he might just put a little bit of pressure on Andrew's house. Andrew Leonard here with Peter Della Penna to guide you through the last 7 overs. Peter, is this going to the final over no matter what from here?
Well, the immediate drama is, will we see a replication of what these two did against Canada, like Ahmad Patel was referencing just before he stepped off the mic, or are we going to see a replication of 2 nights ago when these two teamed up to have Jones run out?
Clip train the corner, that'll be for not the right line from Sampal Kami. And the easiest of strokes for Jones to get his innings properly underway.
With pace, and you see evidence of it right there. Is that one full length delivery? Really a half volley, just on leg stump, and he shuffles across, just guides it.
Worked into the leg side again. That's the larger boundary out there. Dakal will keep it to a single. Yeah, House and Mukamala were impressive, weren't they? 47 from Mukamala, and House has looked very untroubled in his innings of 43 thus far. After this, Milan Kumar, Shai and Jahangir to come, and then Harmeet Singh kind of into the all-rounders. There is plenty of batting, but they'd like House to be there as late as they can in this chase, USA.
Well, he's been phenomenal since making his debut in April. He's got 5 50s.
Interesting to see Harmeet Singh padded up, Peter, as well, isn't it? Just maybe an indication that Stuart Law wants that flexibility of possibly having the left-hand option earlier than number 7.
Well, not just that, but he's also somebody who can score quickly, whereas Milan Kumar are very similar to Aaron Jones in that they're both players who have a reputation for being slow starters. So if it gets to the 15th, 16th over, by the time one of these two gets dismissed, you'd like Harmeet Singh to come in from the USA perspective, not only because he's a much quicker scorer, but also the left-hand, right-hand aspect.
Round the wicket now, and this goes into the pad. It surely is going to have pitched outside leg, but the unless it straightens, unless the umpire's saying it's pitched on leg, then it's going to go on and hit off. Big moment in the match here. Jones adjudged LBW.
Well, there was plenty of noise on social media the other night. I was trying to get the wicket. Doesn't appear to be the case here. Aaron Jones out for 7. It's 110 for 3. See all the Nepal fans clip that when I put it on social media after all the complaints they had on Thursday night, because that one is one. It'll be a long time before they get an LBW decision that generous in their favor again. I'll tell you that much, Lenny.
Milan Kumar to the crease. He's someone who is known as starting a bit slowly. And the outside edge is beaten. All of a sudden, the Nepal fans who are outnumbering the USA ones by a margin in Grand Prairie are living and breathing every ball. 14 overs bowled. It's 110 for 3.
Monday to Friday, 10 p.m. Starts 21st October.
In the CPL final, less than a couple of weeks ago, as St. Lucia lifted the title, he's been adjudged LBW from a decision that, as you rightly said, pleased. Definitely, well, there's no doubt about it, they've got one going in their favour here with the big wicket of Jones. Rijat Dakal's going to bowl his 4th, the 15th over of the match. That will be his final one, and it's set up perfectly, isn't it? 10 runs per over required.
That was not the birthday gift that Aaron Jones was expecting from Aditya Gajner. I'll tell you that much. Just watch this. Sampal Kami has blown out the candles on Aaron Jones' innings. and he's saying, "Wait, this is my birthday. What are you doing?"
Not quite the 30th birthday present that Aaron Jones would have wanted. Interesting call this, isn't it, from Rowan Powell to go or Rowan Powell himself bowl tonight. And Dipender Singh Ari's only bowled the one. So when is he going to be used? Is Ari going to bowl over 16, 18 and 20? Is he the death bowling option?
I'm surprised to see Rijan Dakal in here. And yeah, are they holding Irie back for 16, 18, 20? If they're going to bowl him out, that's going to be what he has to do. And as you can see, a deep backward square, deep mid wicket, long on, long off, and a cover sweep of the 5 boundary riders for Nepal at the moment.
They're going to run a single here. It's just as well it's not Dipender Singh Ari at cover where he so often is. It's Karen KC. Yeah, a lot of protection in the deep on the leg side, isn't there? He might get away with bringing Rijan Dakal back because of the fact that there's a new man at the crease. But I agree with you. Is it the right call?
Well, time will tell. Everything seems to be going Nepal's way this week, though, Lenny, including that last WWE decision. I'm laughing. Aaron Jones definitely isn't laughing in the USA dugout. It was so absurd.
What Nepal will try to do here is bowl as few deliveries as possible in the 5 overs that follow this one to Andrew's house. If they can starve him of strike, bowl to Kumar or the subsequent batters that might follow him should he get out. That may well give Nepal a window to a 2-0 series lead.
And the other thing to analyze here, did they make the right decision sending in? I feel like I said if it happened after the 15th over, I would have advocated for Harmeet Singh to come in. It happened in the 14th. So you can maybe understand why they've gone for Milton. And this is another reason why, because he's in a very quick runner between the wickets, very sharp running to turn that into 2, and a sharp relay has zinged Asif Sheikh in an area of the gloves that doesn't have much padding.
It's a good identification for the second from USA of who the fielder was. Nepal have some exceptional fielders. The likes of Bertel, Dipender Singh Ari, Rowan Powell are all so quick. Anil Saz, a keeper by trade, he's just not quite of that same standard. Now, direct hit might have been close or very nearly out, but I think it was a pretty well judged 2. There's no way they would have got 2 there to Irie or to Powell.
And they've got the faster fielders on the deeper side of the ground, the east side, which is the 82-yard boundary, because those are the areas of the ground where they want to try and cut off the second. They've got, as you said, Lenny, because from the Nepal perspective, I think they thought the 2 is far more difficult to take, far less likely, and yet that's what made it so impressive from Milan Kumar. 2s are very difficult to get on that short side of the ground, the west side of the ground, where you've got a 64-yard boundary, and yet he took off and made it by a yard to spare.
Well, Peter, I just took my little stint off there for the 5 or 6 overs to have a wander in and amongst the crowd, and it is fair to say the Nepal fans are enjoying their Saturday night. And we are also seeing a big moment here because it's going to be a no ball, and we believe that this is for a fielding decision. There's boos from the crowd. Possibly one of the fielders who was on the edge of the 30-yard circle was adjudged to have been out of the 30-yard circle. So what was a good result for Nepal with a dot ball is now turned into a no ball and a free hit to follow. Another moment of controversy.
I think it was Gulshan Jha at backward point.
Well, it's hit to KC. He's not going to go for the catch because it was a free hit. So it's only cost 1 additional run, but there will be another ball to follow. How could either of the 2 umpires have seen that he was out of the circle from their position?
That's what Gulshan Jha wants to know, because he was waving his arms like, how could you call a fielding restriction no ball? He's claiming he was inside the ring. Samir Bandekar and Aditya Gajjar clearly felt otherwise, and maybe that's a slight, ever so slight evening of decisions on the night, because the Aaron Jones LBW decision.
Yeah, this is slashed away into the offside, not going to carry. And they'll just take the single. So, final over of Dakal isn't necessarily the worst for Nepal. But USA still have this target in their sights. 15 have been bowled. It's 118 for 3.
It doesn't matter if they are facing the white ball masters.
Ray Russell is a magnificent bowler.
Because when the Lakers spin a web, it's tough to survive. Get ready as the Laker Lions take on the Calypso Kings on a cut. The Lakers versus West Indies first ODI today, 2:30 p.m. live on Sunny Sports Network.
Upon by Andrew's house quite a lot. Time spin options, the likes of Kushal Patel and himself, even though there is no Kushal Mala in the team, he seems to think as though the pace on the ball is the way to go. And Sampal Kami, he's going to continue. So that means that Dipender Singh now can't bowl his allocation. Strange choice, or do you feel it's the right one given the conditions?
Well, if you're Sampal Kami and you're Robert Paolo, you're going to say, hey, you got that LBW decision against Jones bowling around the wicket, might as well keep him on and keep on bowling around the wicket. You never know. Might get another.
Yeah, certainly, we always try to be fair and call things as we see them here. We're also trying to is going to cost 1 run, not going to cost 3. They would have got the single anyway, but it just burst through his hands.
That's a fielding moment from the Nepal of at least a decade ago. A while back, they were not the sharpest fielding side in associate cricket. Their fielding standards have risen dramatically in recent years, and that's a callback to the not so good days of Nepal cricket fielding wise.
No ball. And this time, it may be for a front foot overstep. I don't think it was a back foot no ball, but the call was immediate from Aditya Gujar. It's the second no ball in 2 overs, and the free hit will follow.
And crucially for USA, it's going to be Andres House who faces the free hit. And he's on 48, looking to bring up what would be a 6th half century in T20Is for USA. And it looks odds on to get there on this delivery.
Just be a single hit down to long on. We don't know, was it a front foot or a back foot no ball, but the call was immediate from Aditya Gujar.
Well, USA, in the last 2 overs, they've had 2 free hits. They've only been able to get 2 singles off of them. So that is a victory for Nepal in the context of this stage of the match. Great damage limitation by the bowlers.
Slapped down the ground. Anil Shah is going to have work to do. When he does enough, he'll concede a second. Just wonder, is there a little bit of dew out there, Peter? A couple of slips and fumbles, and we see the towel hanging out of the back of Sampal Kami's trousers. 2 nights ago, there was close to no dew. Is it coming in tonight?
Well, the indications are there. There's Kami again making an adjustment, taking off some sort of extra bandage or strapping that he had on that right leg.
I just got a second look at that no ball on my screen here, Peter. Certainly wasn't a back foot no ball. It must have been a front foot indiscretion, as this is pulled away and pulled for 4. Pace on the ball is going the distance. Cannot understand the lack of spin for Nepal, but it's a fine stroke from Milind Kumar. The first boundary of the over.
Well, the only thing I can argue for this strategy is that Nolan Kumar is an exceptional player of spin. He's an outstanding judge of length against spin. And maybe they felt pace was the better way to go with him at the crease, but he's proven that wrong with shots like that. Too short, latches onto it and gives it a tennis racket backhand swat over wide long on.
Definitely has USA back in charge of this chase. A little inside edge may bring about a second. You've spoken about how quick Kumar is, and he'll take on the fielder and get home comfortably. That over belongs to America. And with 16 bowled, it's 132 for 3.
Champions League, Barcelona versus Bayern Munich. 12:30 a.m. live on Sony Sports Network.
If you're a fan of having a little action, if you're a fan of steak and the steak stars in Summit Series, if you were to look at steak right now, Duckworth Lewis is an indication of where the odds are. At the crease and in reserve, with Jahangir and Harmeet Singh yet to come. It looks like USA is on course to level the series and set up a decider tomorrow night.
Yeah, which would be the perfect end to this inaugural series. The lack of spin from a country and a nation that is known in its short cricketing history, only been playing international cricket for about 30 years. They are known as prodigious spinners of the ball. Tonight, they've barely bowled any. Remarkably, just 3 overs of spin. It'll be Karen KC to bowl the 17th. And Andries House will get to another T20 I-50. And it's come off 35 deliveries. It was off the Q end of the bat. What a start he has had to international cricket. Signed by the Bakara Avengers now too in the Nepal Premier League. It's a 6th T20 I-50 in just his 22nd match. Peter, he's almost already the leading run scorer in this format for USA, and it's going to be a matter of time now before he overtakes Stephen Taylor.
Began in April, 3 50s against Canada, 1 against South Africa in the World Cup, and then 1 in Namibia just the start of the month.
Hit towards the man at cover and taken. It's another twist. With Nepal, there's always a twist. And the cardiac kids have the pulses racing back in Kathmandu again. Cover diving forward from Rijan Dakal.
Small margins can make a big difference. Wasn't sure if this was going to carry. Sometimes fielders stay from the edge of the ring. Had no hesitation coming forward for that delivery. It was flat, it was low, but he made sure it carried. Nolan Kumar goes for 15. USA 133 for 4 in the 17th.
Well, the Nepal fans, they still believe they found a 4th wicket. It still very much is in America's favour with Andries House still at the crease. He's got 50 off 35, but they've got a new man to bowl to. That's Shaihan Jahangir. Karen KC, who's had a really good tour of North America. Nepal were in Canada before this, playing ODIs and T20s, and alongside Gulshan Jah, KC was this pick of the bowlers. He's done it again. Can Jahangir get going early, or can he at least get House on strike? He'll do the latter. How much pressure will Andries House feel right now, Peter?
Not a lot, because he's somebody who's got a very calm demeanor. when he made those 50s against Canada, when he made that 50 in the World Cup against South Africa, you ask him, how are you able to do it so easily? And he just shrugs his shoulders and he says, it's cricket, mate. Come on. It's not that hard. Like he just has a very relaxed, very matter-of-fact approach. He doesn't get overwhelmed. This is his kind of situation.
37 to win off 21. It's a slower ball. Good skills from KC taking the pace off. Yeah, there's some in South Africa that say that if it wasn't for Quinton de Kock, he may well have actually played for South Africa. He was that highly thought of back in the land of his birth, but having taken a chance at a change in life, like so many of the players who've come across to America, to their new home, he's really embraced things here. He's been outstanding, simply sensational, in fact, in domestic cricket across both minor league, now major league. He's a real burgeoning star. Heaved into the leg side behind square, great innovation. There's no one at square leg, either in the circle or in the deep. And Jahangir exploits that ruthlessly.
Well, he was clearly aiming for the leg side because you've got a very wide, deep wicket and a long on, but there's an awful lot of real estate on the boundary on that side of the ground. I don't think he meant to get it this fine. Got more of the inside half of the bat than out of the middle, but it wound up working out in Shai Jahangir's favor.
Remarkably, Peter, he's bowling to a 6-3 field here. I don't think I've ever seen this before, right towards the deck. There's only 3 fielders on the leg side. There's 2 men in the circle on the offside. It's sort of a short third. He's going to try and do the same again here. Instead, he goes over the offside. Yeah, there's a long off out there, but it's over his head. What a shot that is! Put down in the crowd. An exceptional strike from Shayan Jahangir has swung the game heavily in USA's favour. The stars and stripes are flying high.
The USA chants are being countered in the crowd, and the Nepal fans going silent. The model no longer drumming in the crowd. Shayan Jahangir, that's 6 to end the over. 145 for 4 up to 17.
Well, those 2 balls have just changed the course of this game, haven't they? Nepal had life, they had hope. How good is this shot?
That was not a bad ball from Karen KC. He got it very wide, and that one is very painful off the noggin of the fan. Come on, you got to use your hands, not your head.
I think it was the shoulder. I don't think it was the face. I think it's into the shoulder, the hoodie.
It was the face. I thought it was the top of the head. He got the hat. Maybe he got a bruise being covered up.
Sagar Dakal to bowl the 18th. Still no Dipendra Singh Iree, and it deflects off Shayan Jahangir. Is Dipendra Singh Iree being underutilised again by Nepal with bat and with ball? He was a player of the match in the first game. He's only bowled 1 over, which had a wicket in it in this second T20I.
Well, you say he's being underutilized. I don't know why Sagar Dakal was only blowing his 3rd over in the 18th. He was their unsung hero 2 nights ago, and I'm scratching my head as to why he was taken off after his 2nd over in the 10th and not brought back until now. It's not just Ireets. Their entire spin arsenal has been relegated to the background here in this chase.
An audible hush descends upon the ground. Fans know exactly how critical this over is. That's hit through the offside. Really good stroke. Arif Sheikh fields excellently. Cuts off the boundary, but House gets back for the 2nd, even though it's to
Kushal Bertel took a catch earlier on square leg on that very deep 82-yard boundary on the east side of the ground.
appears as though dew is clearly a factor tonight. The players having to dry the ball regularly. This time it'll just be a single again. It's out to that extra cover sweeper, which Arif Sheikh does the work. House is devastating against spin. I think that's one of the reasons we haven't seen as much of Sagar Dakal as we did 2 days ago. The field is spread, lots of protection the deep in the leg side, long on, deep mid wicket, deep backward square, only fine leg, short fine leg in the circle on the leg side. The 3 men of the offside are all square the wicket. Down the ground, and that's going to be all the way. And USA, they can see the finishing line now. Late as the 18th is not paid off, and House's dominance against spin is on show yet again.
The USA, the chain goes up again. The stars and stripes are fluttering, and the ball is doing more than fluttering off the bat of Andres House. It's thudding into the sight screen. He's been imperious. That's his fourth, sixth, first one since the 8th over, and what a time for it to arrive for USA.
Tries to repeat the dose, this time doesn't get it, and Kushal Bertel will do the fielding. Do you feel this has been a second innings that it's always easy with hindsight, has maybe been mismanaged a touch by Nepal with their bowling options?
Well, you could say so, based on the success they had Thursday night.
Picked up into the leg side. Now he's got a really good piece of this, but Dipender Singh Airi is out there, and he's not going to drop that. It's such a large boundary, it's incredibly difficult to clear, and Jahangir, he holds out to give us maybe another late twist as Sagar Dakal has his first wicket today.
Well, the sunny red moon, now they're flying. The model is thumping in the crowd. The drums alive. It was there to hit. But as you said, Lenny, you're going to have to clear 82 yards on that side of the ground tonight. We've seen some guys able to do it. Shai Jahangir not able to on that occasion. Irie, the most dependable of Nepalese fielders, latches onto a Jahangir out for 14. And USA and the 18th at 156 for 5. They need 15 off the last 2 out balls.
Two overs remain. Karen KC is going to bowl his fourth and final. It's 15 to win off 12. The new man's at the non-striker's end. As Andres House continues along his merry way, can he get back on strike? No, he can't, because the fielding is clean. And it will bring the new man onto strike. Is this the little window for Nepal to maybe pull off a victory from nowhere here? USA, they only need 14 to win off 11.
Harmeet Singh, he's had some very successful cameos for USA with the bat in his brief T20I career. This is his 21st innings, average of 22.61. Check that, average of 18.58 in 16 innings now. Just looking at his bowling stats above his batting stats. He's got a strike rate of 145, though. He can score quickly. All he needs really is singles to get Gauss back on strike, though.
A little slower ball. He might get more than that. He should get 2 because it's the longer boundary on the leg side. And even though it's Dipender Singh Airi, it was weighted perfectly. And that's good knowledge and use of the conditions that I mentioned of the ground. A couple to get Harmeet Singh off the mark.
Again, he's a big 6 hitter. As I said, you don't need 6s here. 12 from 10 with all that expansive real estate on the leg side for the left-hander on the east side of the ground. He just needs to repeat that tap and run shot 4 more times in this over, and they'll be, with the equation, having more balls than runs required.
It's a Yorker. It's it down towards long off. And it's taken. Rohit Patel sends the Nepal fans into ecstasy. And it's another late twist. The attempted Yorker turned into a low full toss, and Harmeet Singh could have hit it anywhere. And all he's done is hit it down the throat of Nepal's captain.
Lenny, I can't believe what I've just seen. We were just talking about all he needs to do is tap ones and twos. He's going for glory here. And when you get a low full toss, it can be very difficult to get underneath it. And that's what we've just seen. And it's almost deja vu of the Tide match in Pearland with Aaron Jones. All he needed to do was tap a single. He went for glory, caught on the boundary. Harmeet has almost repeated that in exact fashion. He's out for two. USA 159 for 6 with 9 balls left.
And we're being treated to a real spectacle on a Saturday night. The local time here in Texas is already past 10:30. Back in Nepal, well, it's barely past 9:15 a.m. But the fans here in Texas, they're mainly chanting Nepal, Nepal. They're on their feet. 9 deliveries remain, 12 to win. Jesse Singh is the new man to the crease, and he's on strike. And given as a wide, and KC can't believe it because he's saying that Jesse Singh has come across his crease and the wide guideline should go with it.
Well, he's got a point. It's a call that could have gone either way. Jesse Singh, as you said, was walking across, premeditated, well before Karen KC delivered that ball, and the wide guidelines are supposed to shift with the striker. That one goes in the USA's favor, though.
Big call, makes it 11 off 9 instead of 12 off 8. Goes across again, gets something on it, and there is a man out there. I think they're just going to be satisfied with the single because it'll get House on strike. Gulshan Jada's really well out at deep backward point. Law 22, Peter. The guideline should go if the batter goes with it. They did Jesse Singh go enough to mean that shouldn't have been given as a wide.
Well, Samir Bandikar didn't think so. It gets very tricky, very ambiguous, because when the batter moves, that blue painted line doesn't move with him. You don't have that same visual guideline in a set position, and it just becomes a judgment call.
How good's that fan in the cable that jumper? Sliced away, 2 men out there. They'll converge upon it. Will they be able to stop the second? They might. There's chaos out there. Jesse Singh turns down the second. He says to Andrew's House, I can't hear you. And Dipendra Singh Ari involved again. Nearly creates a run-out chance. It's only 1 run to the total.
Well, you don't need to hear him. Dipendra Singh Ari is. That's an 82-yard throw. The second is on. The amount of distance he has. You take one for the throw 7 days a week, and I'm not sure what is going on in Jesse Singh's head that he didn't turn and run and respond to Andrew's House. There's no need to wait for a yes or no or a 2-2-2. You just go in that situation.
Well, this has to be he won't be able to stop the second. He will cut off the 4. It's a good result for USA. They get 2. House is on strike. It's all going down to the 20th and final.
One hour, one champion. 5 days a week. NPM Matlab. UFC. Fight o'clock. Only on Sony Sports Network.
Well, based on how they've operated tonight, I can tell they're going to go with pace. Sampokami is going to bowl this final over. That's who I thought they would give the ball to. I'm not necessarily saying I agree with it, but based on the strategy they've employed, I'm not surprised. It's hard to look away from defender Singh Irie with how he's performed with the ball over the course of these two matches, but Rohit Paudel has got a very clear plan in mind. He's stubbornly sticking to it. He's gone with pace. He's continuing to go with pace here. Sampokami is going to come around the wicket, try and angle it across to negate any chance Jesse Singh has to free the arms.
Well, it all comes down to these final 6 balls. USA, they need just 7 to win. And House is on strike, and that could be the best possible result for Nepal. It's a single. It means the new man to the crease, Jesse Singh, who is capable with the bat, no doubt. He's going to have the pressure of this series on his shoulders. He'll be on strike. It's 6 to win off 5.
Well, Jesse is the longest tenured player in this USA squad. Made his debut in 2015. He's going to have to call upon all of that experience to finish off his chase alongside Andres House.
Five balls left. Good batting from Jesse Singh. I think they'll just take the single. They're going to take on the second. Could be a run-out chance if it was picked up cleanly. And it's not. It's fumbled by Arif Sheikh. Not for the first time today either. Big moment in the match. Should they have taken the second?
Yes! Which is what they should have done the previous over, because again, it's 82 yards out there. That side of the ground, the east side of the ground, it's such a long way to run, such a long way to throw. You've got to put the pressure on the field. That's what they should have done in the previous over. They learned from their conservative mistake in the 19th. They take on the second because, again, USA's got 4 wickets in hand. If they get run out there, so be it. Jesse Singh took the gamble, put the pressure on Arif Sheikh, who, as you said, has not been at his best in the field tonight, and it pays off.
Changing the field, the man who was at cover, Gulshan Jazz, come in to kind of try and plug that gap. He's come into a square leg, almost saving the single. USA are just a boundary away. Any boundary will do, even an edge. Big gap between the keeper and that short third. 4 to win off 4. That's where the ball goes. It will be a single. Dakal wisely chooses not to throw it. It means that House could put the finishing touches on this match now. 3 to win off 3. Surely Nepal need a wicket, and they needed this ball.
Well, Andres House has had a lot of runs in his USA career so far, especially in T20 cricket, but he hasn't really had a signature moment, and this could be it. He's taken them all the way up to the finish line. Can he get them across the finish line is the question, and he's telling Jesse Singh, leave it to me, I'll get us across the line from here. Can he do it, though?
3 to win off 3. Kami to House. Hit in the air towards long on. Kushal Patel is out there!
Yeah!
Can they pull the rabbit from the hat?
Woo!
House, the set man is gone. He can't believe what he's done. And it's all going to get out to the last 2 balls now.
Well, he tried to finish it off in 1 ball. The USA are going to need those last 2 deliveries in order to get across the line here. House, that signature moment, is going to have to wait for another day because he tried to clear that very deep boundary on the leg side. It's an 80-plus yard hit to that side of the ground, but Kushal Patel with his second catch in that position tonight. House stunned. USA still need 3 to win off the last 2 balls.
House gone for 62, 168 for 7. Who writes these scripts for the associate game, the game that we love? It's that man. It's the pantomime villain. It's Ali Khan.
Well, Ali Khan is somebody who's got a reputation as the type of tail ender who swings wildly. I'm not sure I agree with this. Saurav Netravalkar is somebody who has a track record of getting a bat on ball much more consistently than Ali Khan. And Nash Kenjige, the other option in reserve. Both of those guys are players who you can rely on them to get bat on ball. All you need is one here, and then another single to potentially send this to a super over, Lenny. You don't need Netravalkar just to guarantee you're going to get bat on ball.
Crowd are reaching fever pitch. It's 3 to win off 2. It's an inside edge. It's going to be at least one. Will they think of a second? No, they won't. KC does the fielding. Ali Khan's maybe done his job. He's handed it over to Jesse Singh. And this stakes this second T20I. 2 to win for USA. Any wicket or a dot for Nepal. 1 sends us to a super over.
Well, Ali Khan has been in this situation before. If you remember to Antigua in November 2021, it was him and Rassi Turan who were together at the crease for the final ball when Canada had a brain fade, and the pair of them ran a couple byes to send the match into a super over. Ali Khan is going to need to recall on that experience to make sure he runs here to guarantee anything, a single, a bye, whatever it takes to just get that one run at the minimum to stretch this into a super over. 1 to tie for USA, 2 to win with Jesse Singh on strike. They've been in these situations before. Ali Khan has very directly been in this situation before 3 years ago. And Jesse Singh is going to be the man who's got to get USA at least to the line, if not over the line.
Well, there's fielders running everywhere. There was a huge conflab between the captain and some of the senior players. Sampal Kami, he was the one who's been given the faith of the captain to bowl this final over. It all comes down to the final ball. He's done a wonderful job to now. It's 2 to win. 1 sends us to the super over. A dot or a wicket wins it for Nepal. Here we go. To short ball, it's pulled into the deep. They'll get the 1. It's Dipender Singh Airi. The throw comes in. It's on the bounce. It's a run out. And we're going to the super over.
Oh, wow.
We can't separate them in normal time.
Super over, guys.
And the fans, they're loving every second. And fittingly, it's Dipender Singh Airi's throw that runs it out for the second. Not quite Lords in 2019, but we have a super over under the Saturday night floodlights in Grand Prairie.
Well, you want to put your best fielder in that position. That was most likely where it was going to go with that ball that Sampal Kami bowled. He bowled it short on purpose. He was playing for a drag into the leg side. He got what he wanted. He got it straight to the fielder he wanted it to go to. And Ali Khan did his job. He bolted like there was no tomorrow from the non-strikers, and he got back comfortably for the second. But Jesse Singh was just struggling to get the momentum going after playing the shot, and he was never going to get back for that second run. And it means we've got bonus cricket, Lenny.
Well, incredible scenes here in Grand Prairie, and I have to say, it's no more than everyone deserves. The organisers, and there's, as always, drama because they're working out exactly what has to happen. It was a short ball. He didn't get a great piece of it, but look at the coolness and the calmness under pressure here of Dipender Singh Airi. It wasn't his usual flat throw. He said, I know I've got time to just lob it in to Asif Sheikh and Nepal. They'll feel as though they've kind of won that super over. And USA may feel as though they've given it away. They only needed 7 to win from the final over. Kami concedes only 6, and it's 170 apiece. 170, plays 170, and we're off to the super over. And these fans, they're not going to go anywhere. What a contest, and what a gripping piece, again, of the game that we love, associate cricket, at its very best.
Well, I said Ali Khan had been in that situation before. I neglected to say Dipender Singh Irie had been in that situation before, only because in that tied match in Pearland 2 years ago, it was Dipender Singh Irie who teamed up with Terry.